set with the Diamondbacks. Looks like we're going to have a lot larger crowd on hand than we did last night, and the Astros hope to even up the series with a victory this evening. It's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in Phoenix, so it's an interesting start time, but it certainly draws well. Greg Lucas down on the field. Of course, this is also the weekend that football really starts for good. And, of course, there's an argument between baseball and football fans. It rages around the country, which is their favorite sport. Some parts of the country, it's still baseball, but grudgingly football is catching on and coming up stronger and stronger. In other parts of the country, football is the king. But surprisingly, there have been a lot of athletes who could have chosen either sport, and they went with baseball. That's right. That was a great football player. Now he's the manager right here. That's Kirk Gibson. He played at Michigan State, could have been a first-round draft pick, but cast his lot with baseball. How about another one? Joe Mauer of the Minnesota Twins. He may be the best story of current players. He was the National High School Player of the Year as a senior, named #1 recruit in the country, committed to Florida State, but said, it'll be baseball for me. Adam Dunn of the Nationals was on track to be quarterback or tight end at UT, but instead he's a 40-homer-a-year slugger in baseball. Another Houston area star, Carl Crawford of the Rays, he was set to attend Nebraska and play quarterback, but the second-round draft slot in baseball turned him into an all-star in that sport. Rocky first baseman Todd Helton, the quarterback at Tennessee, got hurt. A guy named Peyton Manning took over. Helton made the wise move. He's in baseball. And Cubs pitcher Jeff Samardzija was the starting tight end at Notre Dame, and a good one. He decided baseball was the best way to go. Now, there's a whole bunch of other names. Outstanding footballers in baseball uniforms include players like Grady Sizemore, Mark DeRosa, Steph Smith, and Clayton Richards. And, of course, historically, guys like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, Jackie Jensen, Jim Thorpe, Jackie Robinson, Cal Hubbard, and even George Halas, the founder of the Chicago Bears, played a little bit for the New York Yankees. Now, there are players who have concentrated on football, but the numbers are fewer for players who were outstanding in both sports. If good in baseball, baseball has won out more often than not. And why not? After all, baseball players have to be smarter, don't they? When's the last time you heard a baseball team being called for too many men on the field? Brownie and JD are next. The game is coming up.
For a session for Felipe Paulino, who felt good today in a simulated game. It's Michael Bourne on a 12-game hitting streak. That's his career high, leading it off in center field. Jeff Kepinger's batting second tonight at second base. It's Hunter Pence in right field. Carlos Lee at first base, batting fourth. Jason Michaels in left field. The third baseman is Chris Johnson. Tommy Manzella plays shortstop, batting 7th. Humberto Quintero does the catching, batting 8th. And it's Bud Norris in the 9th spot pitching.
Lefty Joe Saunders works for the Diamondbacks tonight. He's made 7 starts with Arizona since coming over to trade from the Los Angeles Anaheim Angels of Anaheim of Los Angeles, California. He's 2-4, 4.70 ERA overall this year, 8-14 for the lefty. More of a crafty type lefty, not an overpowering guy. Defensively, he has a speedy outfield, especially in center. Chris Young can really go get him. Parr and Robertson right and left infield. Reynolds, Drew, Johnson, and LaRoche. Miguel Montero, it's his bobblehead night here tonight. Ooh. Behind the plate. So there's a lot of pressure on him to put down the right numbers on his own bobblehead night.
Well, he just called ball 1 to Michael Bourne.
Get him out of there.
Michael on a 12-game hitting streak at .259. He has 2 homers, 31 runs batted in. Last night, Michael had a couple of hits his last 2 times up. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Michael. He's at .316 against the D-backs. As JD mentioned, the Astros have not faced Saunders, who's 29 years old and went to Virginia Tech, the first-round pick of the Angels.
Battled through some arm problems last year. He was an all-star in 2008. Boy, a very good record, 56-36 in his career. A couple big winning seasons with Anaheim, but a lifetime ERA of 4.32, so around league average.
Bourne hits it, and the second baseman Kelly Johnson is there. 1 down for Saunders. Yes, he has had some good seasons this year. Not quite in that category. He was 6-10 with the Angels, and he's 2-4 with the D-backs. But nonetheless, somebody they can count upon as a building block for their future rotation after dealing Herron. Jeff Keppinger at .284 has 5 homers. He's driven in 47 this year. And Jeff has had a couple of games back from the injury. Last night he had an RBI single and a walk, taking ball 1. He had a foot injury and had a couple of games on a minor league rehab assignment. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. The Astros have a very good record in games started by opposing southpaws. They're 22-14. Trying to comb the numbers and figure that out is a little more difficult. They really haven't hit that much better against lefties, if at all. But it seems that they pitch better when facing a lefty.
Yeah, there you go. That's
2-1 to count. Yeah, they've had a lot of lefties who have thrown the ball fine against them, good numbers, but haven't beaten them. That's rocked out toward right center field. And the center fielder Young has to go way back to get it and doesn't. He picks it up on a warning track. Keppinger will stop with a 1-out double, his 29th of the year on a well-hit liner. Wide open spaces here at Chase Field in the alleys.
Yeah, make no assumptions when you come out of the batter's box here. Really busted hard going down the line because singles turn into doubles and doubles turn into triples. If that ball splits the gap, or if there's a little bit of a bobble or a misplay by the outfielders, because there is so much ground to cover here, and apparently they're contemplating creating even more ground to cover. There's some talk of pushing the fences back here a little bit to try to limit the home runs.
That may add to the triples and doubles.
Yeah. So, whether it helps the pitchers or not remains to be seen.
Fly ball to right by Hunter Pence. Gerardo Parra settles in under it for the second out. Pence on a 4-game hitting streak, retired on 1 pitch that time by Saunders. And it'll be Carlos Lee playing first base tonight. We continue to see Carlos crop up at that position. This is his 6th start at first base. The Astros are 4-1 so far in the first 5 when he's been their first sacker.
Well, that helps explain their success against lefties. 4-1. Because when Carlos is playing first base, it's with a lefty on the mound.
Good point. Carlos with 19 homers. Takes a look at that one. And it's strike 1. It's Mike Riley umpiring behind the plate tonight, the crew chief. Carlos was 0 for 4 last night. He blistered a line drive at left field his first time up. Leads the club in runs batted in with 78. Keppinger's getting a nice walking lead as that pitch is delivered.
Saunders clearly frustrated with Mike Riley's call there as he feathered that changeup towards the outside corner. He thought he had it. Riley did not. It's fastball, changeup, slider, curveball for Saunders. Comes right back with another changeup. That's probably his best pitch. His fastball is probably a little bit below average in terms of velocity. That's a nice looking changeup right there.
Lee is trying to snap an 0 for 12 slump. Michaels on deck. Jammed on that one. He pops it up. Montero hustles back near the screen. Won't have a play.
One of the keys for Saunders, the ability to pitch inside effectively. When struggling, he tends to stay away. There's Miguel Montero squatting down there trying to hide behind that mask.
It's a reasonable likeness of him. Not always the case when a guy has a bobblehead. 1-2 to Carlos. And this one gets away on the bounce. Keppinger to third base. Montero tracks it down on a wild pitch. The count going to 2-2.
Diamondbacks wearing their San Diego State uniforms tonight.
Yeah.
And he comes with the breaking pitch, and Montero able to drop down in front of it, but not able to contain it. 90 feet for Keppinger.
Carlos shoots one out to shallow center field, and that is a hit and an RBI for Carlos Lee. A 2-out, 2-strike delivery, making it 1-0. That is his specialty down through the years. Getting the runner home from scoring position with 2 outs in the inning.
Well, you know, a smart veteran hitter, and you get a sense that he sniffed out that changeup. Saunders had thrown him 2 earlier, and it really made good pitches with him. And Carlos went down and got that one as if he were looking for it. Otherwise, he doesn't get that pitch. So he was sitting on that changeup there, maybe not sitting on it, but certainly that was the pitch he was most expecting.
That was a great job of hitting. Ball 1 to Jason Michaels now. 250 for J. Mike. 7 homers, 23 runs batted in. Boy, a hit like that can do so much. Pitcher's 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning, and instead he gives up a run. That's a good one, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to J. Mike, who was 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter last night. This is his 23rd start of the year, 10 of them in left field.
Michaels has seen Saunders more than any Astro. He's had 9 at-bats against him, 1 hit in those 9 trips. Carlos was 3 for 8 against him prior to that knock, and Jeff Keppinger had 2 at-bats. Nobody else on the Astros has faced this lefty.
Saunders beat San Diego in his last start 7-2, giving up 2 runs on 10 hits in 8 innings. Michaels watches it go, and it's 3 balls and a strike to J. Mike. Saunders has gone 6 innings or more 17 times in 27 starts. And he has walked Michaels. Now Chris Johnson comes up with 2 on and 2 out.
Chance to inflict a little early damage here. Turn that 1 spot into a crooked number. Big at bat coming here for CJ. 1 for 4 last night. He had a hard time with Daniel Hudson. Young guy who worked for the Diamondbacks last night was very good. He too featured an outstanding changeup.
327 for Chris, 6 homers, 37 runs batted in. And that one goes to right field. Coming over toward the line, Parra. Saunders gets out of the inning with 1 run, scoring on 2 hits. Straining 2. It's Houston 1, Arizona coming up. heavy hitter at third base as far as home runs. Miguel Montero is the catcher. Ryan Roberts in left field. Gerardo Parra in right field. And Joe Saunders the pitcher.
David Bud Norris for the Astros tonight, making his 22nd start. He's got 6 wins. He's lost 8. Number 8 coming last time out against the Mets. Got a 5.17 ERA. League gets 2.65 against him.
Third straight start on the road for Bud. First pitch, strike 1 to Drew. Drew had a nice evening last night. He had a hit and 2 walks, scored 2 runs. He's hit safely 9 of his last 10. Jammed on that one. He fouls it back. So Bud's come inside on the first 2 offerings here, and it's 0-2 on Stephen Drew.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks have a lot of left-handed bats, and that's not really a problem for Bud. Handles lefties well. Able to get that 4-seamer on their hands, the 2-seamer running away. A good weapon. His changeup a little bit more effective against lefties than righties. Will not use his slider as much against left-handed hitters as righties, but still an effective pitch for him.
Lefties hitting .244 against Bud. And Drew fouls that one out of play for Chris Johnson. Drew has 51 walks, .348 on base average, runs pretty well, 72 runs scored. It's been a nice season for Stephen Drew.
And plays a very solid shortstop. And goes to the post pretty much every day.
Yeah. That was an issue with his brother, J.D. He's now with Boston. The fact that he did not go to the post every day, and the reputation he had acquired through his years in the National League was one of a player who accumulated a lot of aches and pains, which kept him out of that lineup fairly frequently. But that has not dogged Stephen. He has not had that kind of thing following him around. He lines one up the right field line into the corner, and Stephen Drew turns for second base. Hunter Pence plays it off to Karam. Stop sign at second for Drew with a leadoff double, his 29th of the year.
And nobody out. Joel Youngblood throws up a stop sign there for Stephen Drew. That was a situation where possibly could have made it to third, but it wasn't going to be easy, and there's no guarantee he was going to make it. So nobody out. Holding on right there, dropping anchor at second base was the right play. Good swing of the bat here. Lots of doubles and triples in this ballpark.
Runner in scoring position for Chris Young, an all-star this year. And the fastball is ball 1 to Young, a .269 hitter with 23 bombs. He's driven in 81. Last night he had a hit, an RBI, and a walk. Kelly Johnson's on deck.
Chris Young, not your prototypical number 2 hitter. Typically, the 2-hole hitter is a guy who draws a lot of walks and just kind of sprays the ball around. He's a power guy. Better than 20 home runs. 81 RBI.
He looks at that one for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Young, who has struck out 116 times.
He's one of a bunch of these Diamondback hitters who have struck out more than 100 times. Of course, Mark Reynolds leads the way, the third baseman. So this could be an interesting matchup because Bud, with that outstanding strikeout rate, better than 1 per inning, and this Diamondback club who swings and misses a whole bunch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Kirk Gibson guided his club to a winning record in the month of August, and now on a 4-game winning streak in early September.
Maybe the phrase that pays for a pitcher against this Diamondback club would be "Don't give in."
That will hang into left center field. Michael Bourne calling. That's one big out for Bud after that leadoff double.
On certain counts against this club, you could probably get them to chase pitches out of the strike zone, whereas more patient hitters you'd have to come into it. We'll see how it plays out here tonight.
Kelly Johnson is 0 for his last 19. .271, 19 homers, 58 runs batted in for the native of Austin, Texas, formerly with the Atlanta Braves. He got off to a phenomenal start this season. Had 9 homers in April to tie for the league lead. Pickoff play at second. Manzella took the throw as Drew went back in.
Well, base runners beware tonight. Bud Norris with quick feet loves to throw to the bases, and Humberto Quintero behind the plate throws to the bases more than anybody.
Johnson takes a look at it. It's ball 1. Kelly was a pinch hitter last night, and he hit the ball up the first base line. Brett Wallace made an excellent play, diving to stop his grounder and threw to the pitcher covering. That's a strike, and that makes it 1-1 to Johnson. Kelly's 28 years old. He went to Westwood High School in Austin. Last year he hit just .224 for the Braves. Signed as a free agent with this club. In tight.
Yeah, well, Johnson's a guy who always showed some power potential with the Braves. Had some problems defensively at second base, but always been able to handle a pretty good fastball. But with the emergence of Martin Prado over there, Kelly Johnson, his days were numbered in Atlanta as the everyday guy.
Keppinger fields his grounder, tosses him out. Drew to third, 2 outs in the inning. Adam LaRoche will get a shot at the RBI. He's on a 7-game hitting streak right now. And LaRoche had a couple of hits last night, one of them a double, and drove in a pair of runs in the 4-3 Arizona win. 273 with 23 bombs. The 89 runs batted in is a club record now for an Arizona first baseman in a season. He's 10 for 30 during his 7-game hitting streak. There's ball 1. He usually can rip a pitch that's down. Has more problems with the fastball up if he tries to connect with that. It's 2-0. There are always exceptions, though.
Well, he's a little bit different than some of the left-handed power hitters. He hits out of that open stance, and he shoots the ball to left field and left center very well. It's good gap power. I don't really remember him turning on too many inside fastballs. I think that's why they were setting up, trying to crowd him with the fastball. The problem is, a lot of times that's not a strike.
He rips a liner into right over Keppinger, who is out in right field to tie the game 1-1. RBI single for LaRoche. RBI number 90 for him, and an 8-game hitting streak.
And they did not want to give in for the fastball there on 2-0, so came with the slider, and LaRoche was all over it.
Both clubs hit the plate in the first inning.
He did not have a whole lot of room to get that in there between Keppinger and Pence.
No, he didn't. Now Mark Reynolds. Pretty much an all or nothing type hitter. There is first pitch, strike 1 to Reynolds. He has 32 homers. That's third in the league. He's driven in 83. His batting average a low .215. He leads the league in strikeouts with 182. Reynolds looks at that one for strike 2. Mark 0 for 3 with a walk in last night's game. He also came out of the gate with 9 home runs in the month of April. There's the strikeout race, and he has a pretty good sized lead over Adam Dunn.
Yeah, he ought to be able to hang on to that. Set the record last year, right?
Yeah. Fouls it back.
220 something?
223. And yet, last year he had a .349 on base average because his batting average was .260. Right now his on base average is .336. Fastball is fouled straight back.
Ideally, you'd like a guy who didn't strike out that much, but at the end of the day, he's still a pretty solid player with the home runs he hits. And he does walk a fair bit. He's around 74 walks.
Mark, a 16th round draft choice in 04.
Remember when we first saw him, when we first came here, he went off. Big series.
Now he can do that. 1 and 2. A lot of the guys who combine what he's done with the homers and strikeouts are kind of streaky hitters. He went 5 for 5 in 07 in one of those games you were talking about against the Astros with 2 homers here. Foul back, and that first year in 07 against the Astros, he hit .533. Only 15 at bats. For his career, he's .296 against Houston, but they don't care much about that. That's some Astros fans. On to Chicago after tomorrow's finale. Tomorrow's game starts at 3:10 Houston time, so we'll have a 2:30 pregame show on FS Houston. Glad you found us today on My 20, and we'll be here on Saturdays in the month of September. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Reynolds. Sometimes things get moved around this time of year with a great convergence of sports events.
And if you haven't found us, keep looking.
Reynolds strikes out, and in the first inning, it's a run on 2 hits and a man left. After 1, it's 1-1. In that year, and then 17-7 in 08 with a 3.41 ERA in 08. That is a strike to Tommy Manzella, who's hit lefties well. 222, 1 homer, 18 runs batted in for Tommy. 360 is his batting average against southpaws. It's no balls, 2 strikes. There's a real logjam at shortstop for the Astros here in September. Angel Sanchez played the position last night. Had 2 hits and 5 at bats, scored a run, drove in a run.
That's what September is all about, an opportunity to take a look at some guys. And Brad Mills in his office before BP today said he's going to give a number of players an opportunity to play some shortstop.
Broken bat. Out to Johnson, 1 out. Felipe Paulino had a session today, a simulated game. He threw about 45 pitches, Brad Mills was telling us. And he felt good. Threw the ball well. Check on how he feels tomorrow. Maybe he does that again a couple times. He'd like to get him in a game at least in relief. Does not have plans to start him again this year. Humberto Quintero, 225 with 3 homers, has a dozen runs batted in. Starting his 2nd game in a row. to right field, and Parra heads back. So Q, who was 0 for 3 last night, is retired, and it's Bud Norris coming out.
2 quick outs, and now the pitcher coming up. Joe Saunders in position to have an easy inning here after working awfully hard to get through the first. A little better than the average pitcher when he steps into that batter's box.
6 hits, 35 at bats, 7 sacrifice bunts, a 176 average, and 1 RBI for his career. Bud takes a look at it. It's a strike. Bud was 3-0 last year in 4 September starts with a 1.57 ERA. Strike 2. The Astros have dropped 8 of their last 9 to Arizona. They are 19-28 in this ballpark.
Astros are they're a humidity team.
Are they?
Yeah, they don't do well here in the dry air of the desert.
What about the talk that there may be a humidor here next year?
Well, yeah, and we were talking about this, possibly moving the fences too. They're trying to figure out a way to neutralize the field a little bit. They feel like it's too hitter friendly.
Breaking pitch is up. Well, the stats would probably support their point on that. 2-2.
Big unit didn't need no stinking humidor.
No. That's true.
Of course, that was the big unit.
Yeah. He didn't need much of anything. And a strikeout on a foul tip. Gives Saunders his 3rd out of the 2nd inning and keeps the game tied 1-1. We're not sure what the rules are. Totally perplexed by that contest.
Run as fast as you can, but don't go anywhere. And yet somehow they managed to determine a winner.
Miguel Montero with 8 homers, 38 runs batted in, gets it going in the bottom of the 2nd inning. He's hit .277. Had knee surgery earlier this year. And that looked like a pretty good pitch, but Mike Riley saw it differently, and it's ball 1 for Bud Norris. Montero's come back to grab the lion's share of the playing time behind the dish after that knee surgery. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good heater there at 95 miles an hour. Going right by Montero. He's got legitimate pop.
Yeah, he hit his 4th 2-homer game on August 14th. That's a liner into center field, and he bangs one well. to open the home second inning. Hit number 3 for Arizona, and he's aboard for Roberts now.
Looked like a slider they were trying to throw down and in a little bit, and just kind of stayed in the middle of the plate. Not getting a lot of action so far on this slider, and a bit different because, you know, with a righty, he breaks it to that outside corner. I think it's a pitch he's more comfortable making. The lefty's trying to backdoor to throw it towards that back foot.
Ryan Roberts takes a strike. 214 his average. He's driven in 3. He had a hit last night. He's from Fort Worth and went to UT Arlington, where he majored in kinesiology. Ryan will turn 30 in another couple weeks. Drafted by Toronto in 2002.
And no, kinesiology is not the art of being a tattoo artist. But he's pretty well inked up.
Yes, he is. Roberts came off the bench and hit a double in the 8th inning and came around to score what proved to be the winning run on a sac fly by pinch hitter Augie Ojeda last night. That slider worked a little bit better and struck him out. Number 2 of the day for Bud Norris.
Yeah, I think that slider to the right-handed hitters, you know, for Bud against right-handed hitters, fastball, slider is the game plan. Lefties, it's fastball, change-up, slider, but he's been pretty good at hitting that slot down and away to right-handed hitters. And it doesn't mean he can't throw his slider to lefties, but I would not be surprised to see him back off of it a little bit. So far, LaRoche's base hit came on a slider, as did Montero's.
Gerardo Parra had a 2-for-4 evening last night. Parra fouls it back, strike 1. 255 is his average. He has 3 homers. He's driven in 26. Parra had a triple last night. In his last 3 games, he's gone 6 for 11. Saturday evening crowd. Earlier start time of 5:10 for Saturday games here. Gets everybody out of here early and off to other pursuits. No balls, 2 strikes. It's an unusual start time, though.
Is that the idea? Play at 5 o'clock and then people go to dinner and whatnot after the game? Is that the theory behind it?
I'm not sure. Good question, though. Probably have dinner here would be the theory behind it, I'm guessing. Not everybody wants to do that. That's in the dirt, and it's 1-2. There's Friday's Front Row Sports Grill out there above left field. People are eating out there. That would be a long home run.
Mark Reynolds could get there.
Yeah, he could. There have been some monsters hit in this ballpark. Early in the season, they can open the roof, of course, and then open the outfield panels as well and create a whole different effect than what we have right now.
It feels like an airplane hangar.
It does. It's a massive building. A much bigger footprint, as the folks in construction like to say, than Minute Maid Park. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Phillies and Brewers are tied 3-3. They played 4 in Philadelphia. Doc Halladay has given up 5 hits, 3 runs in 4 innings. Dave Bush is his mound opponent, and the balls are flying out of that ballpark. Several home runs have been hit. Fielder 29, Escobar number 4, Hart number 24. Bouncer on through into right field. Montero will head for third, and the throw goes into Keppinger on a single by Parra. First and third, 1 out for Saunders now.
Well, if those first 2 hits didn't convince him to throw fewer sliders, that one might. It's uncanny. All 3. Well, not the Drew double, I think, came on a fastball, but the 3 hits since then, all been sliders and not really bad pitches. Parra out in front of this one, but he keeps the hands through the zone and able to pull it through the hole there between first and second.
Well, Carlos just couldn't get there. He had to hold the runner on. Well, there's Montero digging first to third on the hit. And now it's Saunders, who's never had a hit in his career, 0 for 15, 3 sacrifice bunts, with Drew on deck. 0 for 11 this year for Saunders. Johnson creeping in at third. Saunders bunts foul. So he's trying to get par at a second on a sacrifice.
Did not look very comfortable trying to get that bunt down. In fact, it looked like he's trying to pull the bat back out of the way more than he was trying to bunt the baseball.
39 pitches for Bud Norris. Bud's last win came against the Mets at home on August 19th. Since then, he pitched well, got a no decision at Philly, and then that last game in New York did not go well for him.
Now, Bud's got to be careful. Quick pickoff throw there. He made it close with Parra, but an errant throw here cost you a run.
Ground ball headed for right field, and that's an RBI single to make it 2-1. Diamondbacks throw it into second, but Parra got back on an RBI hit by Saunders. First major league hit for Saunders. He gives himself the lead.
Reminiscent of Bud's last start against the Mets. It wasn't like they were tearing the cover off the ball, but they just found a lot of holes against them in that start over at Citi Field. 5 2/3. He allowed 8 hits and 5 runs. And Saunders just uglies that one between first and second for a seeing eye base hit.
Montero scoring. 2-1 Arizona. Brad Mills' club has fallen behind and now faces Stephen Drew with runners at first and second. Drew doubled up the right field line into the corner in the first inning and scored on a LaRoche single. He looks at ball one here. Ryan Howard hit his 26th home run for the Phillies today, and Jason Worth added number 20 in that game at Philadelphia against Milwaukee. 3-3 after 4. Phillies one behind Atlanta in the NL East. Foul back, and it's 1-1.
Big win for the Cincinnati Reds this afternoon. They beat the Cardinals 6-1. So mission accomplished. My point of view, anyway, for the Reds going into St. Louis. I think the key for them is just to avoid being swept in that series. They lost last night, but big win for them today. Their lead back up to 8 games.
Absolutely. In tight to Drew. That makes it 2-1. Well, the last series, you'll recall, was very interesting, highly emotional. A fight. Jason LaRue on the disabled list for the rest of the season, probably. Johnny Cueto kicking LaRue and others. Brandon Phillips had popped off before that series about not liking the Cardinals, and the Cardinals swept the Reds, but since then it's been a remarkable turnaround. Norris and Quintero trying to figure things out here with Drew at the plate and a 2-1 count on him.
Well, the one thing we haven't seen Bud trying to do yet in this game, Bud and Q, is to establish down and away with his two-seam fastball against the left-handed hitters. He's been effective, or at least just shown the ability to pitch inside with the four-seamer to kind of get in on the lefties a little bit. But again, when you come in with a fastball, come inside, it's tough to get a called strike in there. And I think sooner or later he's going to have to establish down and away to all these left-handed hitters.
Missed there in an attempt to do that, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
There's something off speed out there. And I like his two-seamer. He gets good run on it. It's been an effective pitch for him against lefties, and hasn't really implemented it here tonight. Maybe it's just the scouting report they have on these hitters.
Now a walk loads the bases for Young. First walk of the day for Norris.
Pat Arnsberg got to have a chat, and probably a very good time to get out there with his young right-hander to make sure that they have a real solid game plan going into this at-bat with Chris Young, because he is a dangerous hitter. And, you can't afford to you go through a rough patch like this where the club finds a couple holes against you. You feel like you're making good pitches, but they're just knocking one through the hole. Then you walk a guy, and you got to be careful not to fall into the law. I'm just going to pump a fastball right through there and try to get ahead of him. If you do that, he might ambush you and whack one into the seats.
Jim Summers, the video coordinator for the Astros, was talking about Brad Arnsberg spending 6 to 10 hours studying a team before each series on video. And he was looking at video in the clubhouse today, and Jeff Bagwell pointed over there and said, if there's anybody who knows how to get a hitter out, it's that guy. Boy, does he work at it on the video. Now it's about execution here with the bases loaded, and Chris Young, the batter, 1 out. Young hit a fly ball to center in the first.
All the video and all the information that coaches get now has almost rendered advanced scouts obsolete. I mean, they still serve a purpose, but I mean, when you look at video of every pitch a guy has ever thrown, it's pretty much all the report you need.
Yeah. Off the plate, and Young has patiently worked the count to 2 balls, no strikes.
For all you advanced scouts that are watching, I'm just kidding. You provide a very valuable service.
Yeah, you talk to us.
Trying to make the point about how important this video is.
In the air, foul and out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Jeff Bagwell was talking about the video just coming in when he was a player and how prevalent it has become. And what a great tool it has been.
Good pitch.
3-1.
Wow. What was that one?
Well, can't answer that, but missed outside. Looked like he missed in there. Let's see it here. That looked good.
The hair in.
A little bit, evidently. Big 3-1 coming now. And it's a foul ball. Boy, he got that one as Young didn't mean to move the bat. He got a strike against him.
And I think that gives you an idea of Norris's velocity there. The fact that Young was kind of late getting it started and having to check his swing there on a 3-1 fastball. A good fastball hitter who's, in all likelihood, sitting dead red there. He's kind of admonishing himself on 3-1. You do that on 3-1.
That's the last thing you want to do, have a tentative or an attempted check swing.
The 3-2 foul ball happens about 86.9% of the time in the first 3-2 offering.
Lively crowd here at Chase Field tonight. We saw their Diamondbacks sweep San Diego prior to the Astros' arrival in town. That's a deep drive. It's going to go foul. And then watch it. Second deck for Chris Young, and it caroms down. Somebody clanked it.
A little bit of a hanging changeup there, but off speed enough that Young out in front.
You can see him on that front leg. Foul ball back, and this is a really good battle right here. Kelly Johnson on deck. Baltimore is pummeling Tampa Bay 7-2 in the 5th. Here's Jeff Fulcino for the Astros. And a slider worked, and he struck him out. What a battle. That's one key out for Bud Norris.
So this inning is teaching us a lesson. Right-handed hitter, slider good. Left-handed hitter, slider bad. Well, with the strikeouts coming on sliders, finished off Roberts and now Young.
Let him pull the change up 9 million miles. And he came back with that pitch after a foul ball in between. 54 pitches, so Norris really having to work here, and it's Kelly Johnson batting now. He grounded out to second in the first inning. Johnson looks at strike one. If Bud can get him, he has done a really nice job here in the second inning. Trailing only 2-1. LaRoche is on deck. Ground ball to first. Carlos has it. And Norris does get out of it after 1 run scores on 3 hits. 3 men are stranded, and it's 2-1 Arizona.
You score as the Astros score. For every run the Astros score during the road trip, fans receive $2 off tickets in the field box seating areas for any of the Astro home games against the Dodgers September 9th through the 12th. Prices drop each day and are only available while supplies last. Visit Astros.com/runs for tickets. So far already $8 off. Not bad. Astros need to get some more in this game right now. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Greg. It's the 3rd inning, and it's Michael Bourn leading it off. Showing bunt and taking strike 1 from Joe Saunders, with Arizona up 2-1. Bourn grounded out to second as he led off the game. Michaels hit .338 in his career against Arizona. Bunting, it goes to LaRoche. 1 out for Saunders. Jeff Capinger got everything started offensively for Houston with a double to right center in the first inning, advancing to third on a wild pitch and scoring on a 2-out 2-strike single by Carlos Lee. Saunders joined Curt Schilling as the only other D-back to throw a complete game in his first home start with Arizona. Strike to Capinger. Brandon Webb has been hurt all year, is trying to make it back. He was wild in a bullpen session, but would like to pitch before the end of the year. And then the D-backs will have a decision to make about whether to have him on the staff next year.
Yeah, they made that decision last year. They exercised his option for 2010. It was a reasonable number, $8.5 million, I think, for a pitcher of his caliber.
Another one to right center, but this one catchable for Young.
But they got nothing out of him for the 2nd consecutive year. So interesting to see how they play it.
Very much so. Tonight's Texas Ford dealers, league leaders, will show you the pennant races in the National League. The Braves with a 1-game lead on the Phillies. The Reds are now 8 up on the Cardinals, and the Padres lead has slipped to 2.5 over the Giants, with San Diego now losing 9 in a row and having lost again today.
And the Giants are breathing down their necks, so San Francisco at LA a little bit later on.
Strike to Hunter Pence on the curve from Saunders. Hunter hit the ball in the air to right field on the first pitch in the first inning. In that Atlanta-Florida game right now, it's 2-0 Atlanta, bottom of the 6th inning at Florida. Jair Jurgens on the mound against Josh Johnson in a battle of Jays. And Alex Gonzalez says both runs batted in the game.
Congratulations, big fella.
That one bounces, and it's a ball to Hunter. Passing it all around. Now the treasured baseball from the first major league hit of Brian Bogusevic was retrieved from the swimming pool last night.
Yeah, what did he make a trade?
Didn't hear it.
The young man who caught that ball?
Probably so. We didn't hear the particulars of it, but that's where the ball landed on his pinch double in the 7th inning last night. Saunders.
Didn't take too much time.
Oh, he almost did. He has a 1-2-3 third. Now he has settled down and retired 7 in a row. So the challenge is there for the bottom of the third for Bud Norris in just a moment. There's the work of Eric Faulkner here on our video summary from Chase Field, and it is 2-1. We go to the bottom of the third. Glad to have you aboard with us on My 20. Bill Brown, Jim DeShays, Greg Lucas here today. Tomorrow, the third game of this road trip, and then on to Chicago for 3 more before coming back for the Dodgers series at home. Adam LaRoche singled, and that drove in a run in the first inning. He rolls one behind first base. It's Carlos Lee, and Bud Norris could use a quick inning here. 1 pitch, 1 out for Bud.
Sure could. Quick, low stress, easy 1-2-3 inning would be very nice. He was off to a good start.
Yeah, he is. He got a hot hitter on 1 pitch. Now it's Mark Reynolds who struck him out in the first inning. Bud 0-2 against this club in 2 career starts with an ERA of 18. And he faced John Garland in both of those starts last August. It's ball 1 to Reynolds. Bud allowed 5 in the first in one of those games. That was at Houston, and lasted just 1 inning in that one. And then in the start at Arizona, he gave up 6 runs in 5 innings. He would love to break into the win column against this Arizona club here tonight. Fastball misses away, and it's 3 balls, no strikes. Tomorrow it's Jay Happ against Rodrigo Lopez. 2:30 for Astros Live. Foul back, and that's Mark Reynolds going for it. 3-1.
Yeah. You don't take the bat out of his hands. This is what he gets paid to do. That's exactly what you're hoping for if you're Kirk Gibson, to get Reynolds up there in a hitter's count. 3-0, 3-1, 2-0. You don't want him being passive. You want him swinging that stick.
He draws a 1-out walk. Second walk for Norris.
It's kind of the downside. But we talk about his strikeout rate being so good. His walk rate's a little high. He's going to have to tighten that up a little bit. He has a high ERA this year, but the other numbers are good. The batting average against 265. He's allowed 14 home runs and 118 innings coming into this one. He's actually, there's another quick pickoff move. He's had a fair bit of bad luck, to tell you the truth. See more examples of it here tonight. The way some of these balls have found holes, it seems to happen. One season those balls are hit at somebody, the next season they find holes.
This fly ball goes to left center. Michael Bourne moving over. One down.
If you can limit the home runs and strike people out and don't walk many, ultimately you're going to be a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah. That's out number 2. Now it's Ryan Roberts. Oh, you see that every now and then. There'll be a tough luck guy on a staff. His turn comes around and it just seems like he doesn't get a break.
Yeah, either lack of run support, or he leaves a couple of guys on base with 2 outs, and reliever comes in, and instead of getting somebody to pop up, that guy whacks one into the alley, and both of those runners come home.
Well, that happened to Bud at home against Cincinnati on the 27th of April. A couple of men left on base, later scored, charged to him. There's Roberts with a foul tip, and it's strike 1. He struck out in the second inning. Rockies 6, Padres 2. That was the final today as San Diego lost for the 9th consecutive time.
But Black is going to have to calm the troops. Don't panic, fellas. Hang in there.
That's a gut check time for them. It's 1-1. Their first real bump in the road this year, and Garland took the loss. He gave up 2 earned runs in 4 2/3. Jason Hamill with the winner. Rockies still in the thick of things.
2010 Astros drawing comparisons to the 2009 Padres. The way that team started to play well in the second half, kind of beneath the radar, driven by very good starting pitching. I'm not sitting here telling you that in September of next season the Astros are going to be in first place in their division, but you can see some similarities.
Right. And Bud Black has said he thought their late season play did really help them out quite a bit as they wound up last year well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It would seem, and the Padres of course are fueled on tremendous pitching. Same thing can be said of other teams that have improved dramatically from last year to this year, down through the ages.
It's been the most important thing for the Astros in their turnaround, the way this club has pitched over the last 6 weeks. And that's the question. Can they sustain it over the long haul?
Whoa. 2-2.
Or something close to it. If they do that, they have a chance to be a pretty good club next year.
Well, the Rockies are one of those teams that really get stronger quite often in the second half. They're now 5.5 back of San Diego.
Bud Norris, the pride of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
Fighting Mustangs.
Runner going, swing and a miss. The throw to Keppinger, and the tag. Well, it was out number 3, so it doesn't really matter. And that's why Keppinger wasn't all that intent on tagging out Reynolds, because Robinson struck out for the final out. After 3, it's 2-1 Arizona. They had a run in the first inning on a 2-out 2-strike single by Carlos Lee. Arizona answered with a first inning run and added another in the second. Diamondbacks have left 5 to the Astros 2 men left on base, and it's Carlos Lee leading it off. So of the two clubs, Arizona has been much more active offensively to this point, and it's ball 1 to Carlos.
And spent a lot more time in the red zone. Saunders reaching into his bag of tricks, breaking out the big curveball we had not yet seen from him.
Sunlight streaming through the windows. A very warm September day in Arizona. What was it, 110 today?
I didn't even bother looking.
No, it's depressing.
Yeah.
That's a deep drive. Watch it fly. Foul. And go into that second deck.
Frankly, I have a hard time discerning between 102 and 110.
Yeah.
People around here, it's like, man, it's 112. It's really getting hot now. 104 was moderate.
Well, it was only 81 at 7 a.m. yesterday. And that's cooler than normal. Lee is down on strikes. Greg Lucas is standing by. Let's go to Greg right now.
Well, I got an important thing to pass on, folks. Help the Astros salute America's heroes on Saturday, September 11th, when they host the Dodgers at 6:05. All uniformed police, fire, EMS, and military personnel will participate in a pregame ceremony, and the first 20,000 fans receive mini American flags courtesy of Arnie's Party Store. Purchase specially priced tickets for this at astros.com/heroes.
Thank you, Greg. There's ball 1 to Jason Michaels. He drew a walk in the first inning. Saunders delivering ball 2 upstairs. Last night, Daniel Hudson was impressive. He went 6 innings, allowing 2 runs. Got a no decision. Aaron Heilman, the winner in relief, as Arizona took it 4-3.
Yeah, don't forget to put that Hudson kid on your draft board for next year's fantasy draft.
He
Pretty
did look
good-looking
good.
young pitcher.
Yeah. That's hit into left center field by J. Mike. He gets out of the box well. It's backhanded by Young to hold him to a single. And the Astros have their first hit since the first inning. Saunders had retired 8 in a row. So another good call by Brad Mills to start Jason Michaels.
Good solid line drive single there for J. Mike.
That gets something going with 1 out. And Chris Johnson hopes to follow up on it. He hit a fly ball to right with 2 men on to end the Astros' first inning. Nationals lead the Pirates 8-1. They've played 6 in Pittsburgh. John Lannon has the lead. Paul Maholm got shelled. That's ripped foul.
If Niger Morgan gets suspended again, he's going to have to skip the rest of the year. He's piled up 15 days in suspensions now.
They're going to have to hurry up and hear his appeal, right?
One for throwing a ball into the stands and then another one for a brawl. The former hockey player taking that hockey mentality to the end.
Yeah. That's line and caught by Johnson and a fall by Michaels. A double play. Michaels fell trying to get back. And it's a 4-3 double play. No runs a hit, nobody left. Middle of the 4th inning, 2-1 Arizona. hits and 2 runs in the first 3 innings, although he did settle down there in the third. But his club is now struggling, and Joe Saunders has gotten into a nice groove. Saunders had set down 8 in a row, then gave up a hit to Michaels, but that was followed by a line drive double play ball. Now in the 4th inning, Bud tries to hang in there against Parra, Saunders, and Drew, and hope for some run support in the 5th. JD.
Yeah, just kind of hang in there. He battled through some choppy waters in the 1st and 2nd, and much better in the 3rd. So hopefully he can kind of keep going in that direction. Problem is he's worked awfully hard already. He's thrown 68 pitches to this point, but he does have 8-9-1 due up here in the 4th.
8 being Gerardo Parra, who just took strike 1. He singled to right in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. He missed his spot there, but I think that's the pitch that he wasn't using early on. A good 2-seamer moving down and away, 94 miles an hour with run to the outside corner. That's a pretty good pitch. I don't care who the hitter is.
Broken bat, line drive, fair up the right field line into the corner. Parra has extra bases, heading for second, turning it on. Joe Youngblood says come to third, and the ball's dropped by Keppinger on the relay. Parra has a triple. That's triple number 6, and he had a triple last night.
I believe it was a leadoff triple last night as well. Very difficult run to prevent now. And pitch down and in a little bit, and he just drops the head on it, breaks his bat, but it dies a hero in a big way. 3 bases. That's a good payoff for that shattered bat.
Well, just inside the line, and he has the kind of speed to get to third. Infielders move in now as Saunders is the batter. You're right, Parra did lead off with a triple in the 5th inning and scored last night. Saunders swings over that pitch, strike 1. He got his first major league hit, and it drove in a run in the 2nd. A little bouncing ball through the right side.
Parra will probably play it conservatively down there at third base with nobody out. Likely the message from Joel Youngblood would be, hey, make sure the ball gets through the infield. Don't take any chances here.
6 hits for the D-backs as Youngblood flashes signs. Joel, formerly with the Cincinnati Reds and other clubs. He was an outfielder. 2 balls and a strike. He used to sneak out and play tennis with us, even though the players were not allowed to do that. Kirk Gibson's really enjoying this situation. Oh, that's a bad looking swing. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's got a bad swing. Yeah. He just got a bad swing home.
Joel is trying to give him encouragement.
Imploring.
Come on, Joe, get it going now. And he pokes a ground ball to third. 1 out.
Well, that's all Joel Youngblood could ask for. It'll make contact. Maybe something good will happen.
That's right.
And Joel Youngblood, the guy that played for 2 different teams on the same day?
He did.
Day game in Chicago, and then got traded. One played the night game.
I think at Philly, yeah. Yeah, he did. He played 2 games in one day for 2 different major league clubs.
Yeah, and 2 different cities.
Yeah, I think he got hits in both games, too.
He's a guy who loves the game right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there when you need me. Well, we got a game tonight.
Infield in now for Stephen Drew. He doubled and scored in the 1st. He walked in the 2nd. Young on deck. That is on the edge for strike 1 to Stephen Drew.
And so now the situation changes a little bit with 1 out. Parra probably a little bit more aggressive down there. They may have the contact play on where they say, hey, ball on the ground, you're going. Don't try to read it. Can't afford to take that time.
Just missing, and it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count for Norris.
The message to the base runner is either going to be, hey, make sure it gets through, you're going on contact, or read it off the bat.
Up the chute. Behind second base, Manzella goes out, looks to Michael Bourne. In shallow center, he makes the catch. Parra will hold. Cut off by Lee. Now 2 outs for Bud Norris.
Well, good job there by Michael Bourne, coming hard, a play that Tommy Manzella could have made, but you prefer to have your center fielders coming in towards the infield, make that play in much better position to make the throw. Manzella runs out there and catches that ball with his back to the infield. Parra probably tries to score. It happened earlier last week. It happened.
Sure did.
Against the Astros, when the Astros pulled it on somebody in a recent game.
Parra had the leadoff triple. Now he's still waiting with 2 outs. And it's Chris Young batting with the infield dropping back now. In fact, Manzella's way back on the grass at shortstop. Here's how deep he is. Young has fly to center and he is struck out. And there's that slider again, and on appeal he got it a strike, and Bill Miller with a call. It's strike 1 to Young.
An aggressive hitter in an RBI situation, man on third. Staying off the plate, not a bad idea, especially if you get ahead of him.
Strike, and it's 0-2 to Young. Bud got out of bases loaded, 1 out trouble in the second after the D-backs had scored a run, striking out Young and getting Johnson on a grounder. Now trying to get out of the most difficult of situations. Runner at third, nobody out. And it's 1-2.
Show me heater just off the outside corner. Go hard up and in with a fastball. Go back to that slider away. That's been the strikeout pitch for him against righties. He got Roberts last inning with a good changeup down and away.
Tapped in the hole at short. Difficult play. Manzella throws, and Lee is able to pick it up. And the Astros get out of big trouble in the 4th inning. Excellent work by Manzella and Lee with a 1-hop throw, getting Young. It's no runs ahead. Leadoff triple, and the D-backs are stymied. They lead it 2-1. Pops one up on the first pitch here of inning number 5, and it's caught by Kelly Johnson. 1 pitch, 1 out for Joe Saunders.
Well, quickly out there, Tommy Manzella, but he has contributed in a big way because he made a heck of a play here. Remember, this is Chris Young going down the line, and he can really scoot. That ball headed towards the hole. Manzella able to cut it off And not only that, but finished the playoff with a little help from Carlos, the big fella.
Yeah.
With the pick on the end.
And the kiss off the glass.
The kiss. The pick from the big fella.
You get into that Bill Raftery thing. Good play by Carlos.
Got to pay homage to Bill every now and then.
That's right. It's a while till basketball season. Humberto Quintero with ball one. He had a fly ball to right back in the second. That was an excellent play on both ends. Now
Carlos can play the position. I mean, you don't look at Carlos and go, hey, he's doing okay for an outfielder over there. You look at Carlos and go, he's pretty good first baseman.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been sure-handed. Made some nice throws from there. Grounded to third. Reynolds takes care of out number two. But Joe Saunders is not giving the Astros much of an opening right now.
Saunders, when on his game, will draw comparisons to Tommy Glavine. Just fastball command is very good. Has a dandy of a changeup. A thinking man's pitcher. He earned that reputation in the American League as a guy who just seemed to know what pitch to make and knows how to set up hitters. The old pitchability, the term Mike Hargrove used years ago.
Strike to Bud Norris. Bud struck out in the second inning. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Bud. 25-year-old pitcher from Novato, California, who was drafted in the 6th round by the Astros in 06. Came to the big leagues last year. Outside the right field line. Parra comes hard for it, but it's out of play for him and up into the seats.
Mentioned Bud from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, the 10th player from that college to play big league baseball. Ozzie Smith would be the most notable. Mike Krukow, big winner in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Kevin Correa, now the Padres.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That's the beauty about baseball. You read the bios of players. They come from everywhere. They come from major universities. They come from tiny colleges. They come from high schools. They come from Cuba, Venezuela. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You think is there like the most obscure guy you've ever seen? Like, how did this guy? Where did he come from?
That would require. I have to think about that.
Some of those guys from the Netherlands.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Curacao, some of those places. Norris caught looking. That's strikeout number 3 for Saunders. He leads it 2-1. against you. In those first 2 innings, your club did score in the first, but since then, very little going on. Your pitch count is high, so you're really up against it in this situation.
Yeah, it would be like, you know, if you were playing a golf match with somebody, if Tony Saunders, Joe Saunders was your opponent, and he's just making routine pars, and you're scrambling like crazy to make your par. You're getting up and down. You're draining long putts because he's been in tough spots. Way more than Saunders has, but the bottom line is he's only made 1 more bogey. He's only down one hole to him here, so 2 holes to 1. So he's not even close to being dormy yet.
It's all about competing, and he's doing that.
Yeah, I mean that leadoff triple. I mean that's like hitting your drive into the woods. But he scrambled back and made his par by posting that 0.
Well, he's done his best pitching, certainly when under the most pressure in this game. Johnson fouls it away because twice D-backs have had runners at third and 1 out. In the second inning, they had the bases loaded, actually. In the fourth inning, leadoff triple, and did not score.
Yeah, we'll get out of some jams for sure. That's kind of the scramble metaphor I was going with.
2-1.
Like a boxer who's kind of losing the match on points, but hanging in there. What else we got? Like the bowler. He threw it in the gutter, but managed to make the spare.
Like the matador. No, never mind. 2-2.
Only took 1 arm in the thigh.
Kirk Gibson doing well as far as the record since he took over as the skipper. Waiting to hear about next year. Lined up the right field line. Top spin on it. That carries it over into foul territory. Extra bases for Kelly Johnson. He snaps an 0 for 20 in style with a double. His 35th.
There we go. He just found the bunker. And we'll see if he can get out of trouble again. Leadoff triple last time. He was able to avoid damage. Leadoff double here, but this one a little bit maybe even more precarious because of where he is in the lineup. This Johnson double comes in front of Adam LaRoche, Mark Reynolds, and Miguel Montero, who are all coming up. Changeup that was down but stayed on the middle part of the plate, it appeared, and that's what allowed Johnson to get out and hook it into the corner.
Johnson was actually 0 for 21 before that hit. Now it's LaRoche batting.
And we may have solved our most obscure place of birth. There's a couple. Jeff Bronke.
Oh, yeah.
He was born in Afghanistan.
Oh, that's right. You can imagine.
Yeah.
LaRoche 1 for 2, and he fouls it back. Strike 1. Who's the other one?
Well, there's a number of them. Elmer Vallo, a real good major league hitter, was born in Czechoslovakia.
Ooh.
Did not know that.
No.
Gerald Young, though. Gerald Young was born in Honduras.
It's true.
And maybe the most interesting one of all was a player by the name of Ed Porre. He made his major league debut April 17, 1914. His place of birth is listed as at sea on the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good cut by LaRoche, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Born somewhere in the Atlantic. Yeah. We're not sure where.
Just bumping around. You can find this stuff on the Baseball Almanac. Stumble across this one.
Jeff Kepinger's playing in Afghanistan right now on LaRoche. But LaRoche got that single over his head and in front of Hunter Pence in the first inning. This time a strikeout for Bud Norris. Number 5.
Will exploit that hole up and in that a lot of left-handed sluggers have. Roche not able to get it done because of that good heater right there up above the hands. Very tempting, but hard to get to.
That's one big out. Now Reynolds, he struck out in the first and walked in the third. Montero's on deck. That will go towards center field and deep. Michael Bourne back though. The catch and the tag. Johnson waltzes to third on the deep drive for out number 2.
I haven't watched Mark Reynolds take batting practice yet in this series. And they probably won't tomorrow being a Sunday day game. I like to do that because he puts on a pretty good show.
Yeah.
He's so strong. Last night he hit a pop-up to Brett Wallace, who was playing first base, and it took 7 seconds for it to come down.
2 outs, and it's Montero. He singled and scored in the second. He's 1 for 2. Roberts on deck. Arizona has out-hit Houston 7-3. No errors in the game. Still some crispness on that Norris fastball, that's certain, and it's 93 on that one.
His average fastball is about 93, 94 miles an hour. Now and then he'll clip it up to 96.
In Minnesota's 12-4 win over Texas, Carl Pavano won his 16th. 1-1.
Well, what a year he's having.
Yeah, you know, he was pretty well trashed in the media for his work with the Yankees, but he's rebounded nicely. Jim Thome had a pair to give him 20 home runs this year. Colby Lewis took the loss. He's 9-12 for the Rangers. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, that's why I'm always hesitant to dog guys like Pavano. Took all that heat. He doesn't want to pitch. He's just collecting his check. Well, obviously the guy was hurt. Yeah, he made some bad decisions while he was hurt.
True,
but it's kind of hard to go out there with your arm blown out.
3-1, and the Twins are very happy with what they've received from him. Travis Wood beat St. Louis for Cincinnati 6-1. He goes to 5-2, and he hits a homer.
You can do it all, that man.
Adam Wainwright, the loser. That's his 4th straight loss now. 17-10. And a walk to Montero. We go to Greg Lucas.
Hey, we got a football score that'll be real important to our producer, Wave Robinson, because his team is being squeezed out just a little bit at halftime by Houston. Houston's leading Wade's alma mater, Texas State, by a narrow 54-7 score.
Oh, wow. 54-7. That must be a mistake. Gustavo Chassin is warming up.
Come on, Bobcats.
Ryan Roberts is over.
Got the Cougars and the Bobcats.
Yeah. It's a real cat fight.
Yeah.
Roberts has whiffed both times.
Apparently not. It's a mauling.
The fur is flying. There's ball 1. Make it a strike. 31,605 the paid attendance. It's a lively crowd here at Chase Field watching a 2-1 game in the 5th.
Hispanic Heritage Night here at the ballpark, as well as the Miguel Montero bobblehead giveaway. Attendance has been way down here in Arizona the last couple of seasons.
Well, the economy hasn't been very good. Neither have the D-backs.
No.
2 balls and a strike.
The bad combination.
Yeah. 100 pitch mark for Bud Norris. They were 70 and 92 last year. Bud gave up 5 runs in 5 2/3 at New York in his last outing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oakland beat the Angels 3-1. Trevor Cahill, a 15-game winner. He beat Jarrett Weaver, who slips to 11-11, and the Angels have fallen below 500. They're 6 below now at 65 and 71. It's unusual territory for Mike Scioscia. That's ripped to left field. A high flyer, and Roberts has hit a 3-run bomb. Number 1 of the year for Ryan Roberts. And the D-backs, who lead the National League in long balls, get number 157. They lead it now 5-1.
We talked about how dangerous this lineup is. You don't really think of Roberts as a guy who's going to beat you with a long ball. He got the big hit last night after coming into the game as a defensive replacement. This time he gets a hanging changeup that drifted right into his swing. Ron Mills hoping to get Bud Norris through the 5th inning, but with that swing of the bat, looks like he's going to make a move to the bullpen. Last time he got Roberts on a changeup down and away. And they're just not able to execute the pitch here.
Now Mills and Norris at the mound with the score 5-1. Chacin is headed in, and we'll be right back.
Night coming up for you as the Astros host the Reds on September 17th. It's college night, 6:05 game time. College students can enjoy a pregame event at the 5-7 Grill with food and drink specials. And the first 200 students to the pregame event receive a college night T-shirt. Buy your ticket tonight at astros.com/college. And of course, the Reds are hoping to be about to clinch a title, so the Astros will play spoiler again, we hope.
Yeah, the Reds are hoping to graduate to the playoffs about that time. Gustavo Chacin is 1-2. His ERA 5.03. Faces Gerardo Parra. And throws ball 1 to Parra, who's 2 for 2, a single and a triple. Chacin has had scoreless baseball his last 4 outings. Bud Norris threw 102 pitches, 64 of them strikes. He went 4 2/3 innings, allowing 8 hits, 5 runs, walking 3 and fanning 5. Chacin throws a strike to make it 2-1. Gustavo last worked on Wednesday in the St. Louis game. The Astros won that one 5-2. He came in with a 4-2 lead in the 6th inning. Worked 1/3 of an inning. This one near the left field line brings Jason Michaels over to his right. And in the 5th inning, the D-backs get a 3-run homer from Ryan Roberts. That lifts them to a 5-1 lead. Between innings, and it is 5-1. What's this race called?
This is the Diamondback Legends. They've got a Randy Johnson, a Matt Williams, Luis Gonzalez, and Mark Grace, all former Diamondbacks, and they race. And the one thing that has to happen is Mark Grace has never won. Kind of a shtick. Gracie never wins.
Okay.
And then they get a shot of him in the TV booth, and they hold up some sign explaining why his guy failed to deliver.
So he's kind of like the Teddy Roosevelt at the Nationals.
I think they teach it in Mascot Racing University. There always has to be a designated loser. Like at the taco, the sauce packets at our place.
Yeah.
Mild never wins, right?
Mild never wins. Okay. 2 balls and a strike to Michael Bourne. He's grounded out twice, the second time on a bunt. Reynolds in on the grass at third with a 5-1 lead for Saunders.
The Astros need to get a little something going here. Still time to chip away. And get Saunders knocked out of this game, put a little pressure on him, score a couple of runs, and get a crack at that bullpen, which has been better lately, but still has really struggled this year.
That's ball 4. Michael Bourne takes a leadoff walk. Yeah, all of those would be accepted by the Astros.
Saunders just perplexed by that one, staring at Mike Riley. None too subtly, I might add. Just kind of, come on, what's the deal, Mike?
Jeff Keppinger shot a double to right center field and scored in the first inning, and then lined out to right center in the third. Chris Young now moves a couple steps to his left, and it's ball 1.
I'm not sure, but I think I keep calling him Tony Saunders. There was a left-handed pitcher.
Yes, there was.
Saunders years back.
I think he was with the Angels also.
Yeah. And then Tampa, he broke his arm. He's one of those guys that broke his arm throwing a pitch.
That's right. 44 steals for Michael. It would be unusual to see him running in this situation. 1 ball, 1 strike. Although we did have a spirited discussion in Brad Mills' office last night about that Niger Morgan base stealing incident. When his club was down, I think 11-3, he was stealing bases against Florida.
Well, normally a team will take umbrage if somebody's stealing bases when they're way up.
Yeah.
Way down, normally you might think, well, that's a dumb idea, but normally you don't get upset by it.
No.
But apparently they did.
Evidently, from what we were reading, they did.
But they had other issues with him, Mike, because he ran into the catcher.
Yeah, well, Michael's going. Ground ball hit to LaRoche. 1 out. Yeah, he smacked into the catcher and put him out for the season.
And I never saw the replay. Was it a cheap shot? I mean, was it?
It was really unnecessary. Home plate was open for him, and he bulldozed the catcher. So, and that is the second time he had done that in about a week. It really was not necessary. Hunter Pence is 0 for 2. Michael takes off for third. Here's the throw from Montero, and he got it.
It's one of those you got to make sure you can get there. Boy, that was close. Montero got off a very nice throw. Mark Reynolds was playing deep, so he really had to scramble to get to the bag. Got there just in the nick of time to catch that throw from Montero, and it was awfully close. A good look at it. The break, the throw, and the tag as Michael slides in. The tag applied up on the knee.
Yeah, that's close. Hunter Pence grounds behind third. Reynolds with a play. Throws from his knees. Tremendous play by Mark Reynolds. Bourne scoring to make it 5-2, but he just robbed Hunter Pence. Sparkling effort by Reynolds.
He's made 17 errors this year, has Mark Reynolds, among the most among Major League third basemen, but that does not tell the whole story. He can play. Chance for an extra base hit down the line. That comes up with nothing.
2 outs, 5-2 game. Carlos Lee looks at strike 1. That was RBI number 76 for Hunter. Reynolds taking care of a very important out for Saunders. In tight, and it's 1-1 to El Caballo. So Bourne made some things happen with a walk, taking second on a grounder, stealing third, and coming home on a hot ground ball behind third. Almost hit him, and it's 2-1.
And I think, and I'm not sure what Brad Mills is talking to Michael Bourne about this, but if I'm Brad Mills, where I'm thinking, even though you're in the middle of the game here, I'm thinking it's okay to play, to think about stealing a bag, taking a little bit of a risk to try to get a run or two here, because the Diamondback bullpen has been so vulnerable. Usually you think, okay, we got to play for a big inning against the starter, try to put a crooked number on against him, because if you get in the later innings, you got to deal with those late inning relievers. But you're not as concerned with that here in Arizona.
3-2. Yeah, at one point a few weeks ago, the Arizona bullpen had an ERA over 7.
It was a record pace.
Back to Saunders. 2 in, the 6th for the Astros. They get a run on no hits, and it's 5-2 Arizona. Up in the home 6th inning now. And pitcher Joe Saunders will lead it off against Gustavo Chacin. Saunders picked up his first major league hit. It drove in a run in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2 and taking that pitch. Strike 1 for Chacin. Gustavo took over and got the final out of the 5th inning, retiring Parra.
Chacin, a good guy to call on in a situation like this. Give you a couple innings and help neutralize all the left-handed bats that the Diamondbacks have in their lineup tonight.
Little roller goes foul. Of course, the pitching staff has been swelled by September call-ups. Chacin, a guy, can stay in and pitch a few innings before having to leave for a pinch hitter. Pitcher spot would not come up in the 7th inning for the Astros unless they get a rally going. Roller goes foul. Astros have young Henry VR waiting to make his major league debut. Slapped into left field.
What's going on, Joe?
2 hits for Joe Saunders, who was 0 for 15 as a major leaguer until this game.
Say it ain't so, Joe. Hey, play the $500 million blockbuster scratch out from the Texas Lottery. With $500 million in total prizes, it's big, really big. For more details and big fun, visit TexasBlockbuster.com.
Yeah, $500 million.
$500 million. $500 million in total prizes.
Okay. Stephen Drew has doubled and walked tonight. Chacin delivers, and Drew looks at it for strike one. D-backs have played very well against the Astros, winning 4 of 5 this year, 8 of 9 going back to last year. They've averaged 5 runs per game against Houston this season.
They're averaging close to 8 runs per game for the last week or so.
Yeah, the Astros have caught them at a bad time, it seems, as of now. Their 7-1 record in the last 8 games is their best 8-game run this season. They've hit 300. They've scored 58 runs in those 8 games. Pitching staff has a 3.17 ERA. That all adds up to a very rosy situation for Kirk Gibson lately. That's foul, and Chris Johnson comes over by the D-back bench. 1 out. Mike Hampton will be joining us tomorrow on Astros Live, which starts at 2:30. He's back as a reliever now after surgery on the rotator cuff last offseason.
We're going to start calling Hampy Jason.
Yeah.
In those Friday the 13th movies. You just can't finish him off.
No, and he's just back in that original role when he joined the Astros in a trade with Seattle back in the mid-90s. He was a reliever. So he's trying to recall those thoughts of how to approach things. Chris Young, the batter, he's 0 for 3. Carlos Lee well off the line. There's strike one.
You know, Hampy, he could turn into one of those relievers / pinch hitters, pinch runners. I mean, such a good athlete.
Really could. Yeah. Young looks at it, and he's in an 0-2 hole right now. White Sox lead Boston 3-1 after 8 at Fenway. That's game 2 of a doubleheader. They won the opener by a 3-1 score.
Chris Young, the only Diamondback not to reach base yet tonight. Say that with a certain degree of hesitancy as Chacin is delivering the pitch. Want to jinx him.
Yeah.
Chris Young has a lot of big games against the Astros, his hometown team.
Gibson is at risk of getting nailed by a foul ball over there. Standing up tall above that railing. Gibby never backed away from the line drive. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, well, he's probably got a little something extra working now that college football season is here.
Yeah, you know it. What a speedy wide receiver he was.
The Michigan State Spartans were on TV earlier today.
How'd they do?
They were playing some cupcake. All cupcakes this time of year, Brownie.
I agree. Fly ball to right center. Bourne is calling. Taking care of out number 2. Let's see how this game has gone. In the first inning, the Astros got a run on a Carlos Lee hit. And then the D-backs answered. LaRoche with a single. It was 1-1 after 1. In the second inning, Arizona got a first major league hit from Saunders driving in the go-ahead run. In the fourth, it was a 3-run homer from Ryan Roberts. 5-1, and then the Astros just hustled their way to a run. And there was an excellent play behind third by Reynolds on a Hunter Pence grounder with Michael Bourne scoring. Kelly Johnson looks at ball 1. He doubled and scored in the 5th inning on that 3-run homer. Kelly snapping an 0 for 21. It's interesting that the manager, with a show of faith, put him in the number 3 spot in the lineup, even though he came into this game 0 for his last 19. One ball, 1 strike.
That may be precisely why he did it.
Could
say,
be.
hey, I know you're scuffling, but I believe in you. Go get him.
Runner takes off with a big jump. Here's the throw from Quintero, almost low bridging Chacin. And Joe Saunders steals second base. The surprise element was at work for him.
Well, they weren't holding him on, and he was waiting, and the Astros weren't concerned about him taking that base. So ultimately, Gibson said, hey, go ahead, take it. If you feel comfortable, if you think you can make it, go.
Quintero rushed to throw down there, and he stole it. 2-1 now.
And no sense making that throw. You're not holding him on. You're not breaking to cover the bag.
And a swing and a miss by Johnson. A strikeout to end the 6th inning. No runs, a hit, a runner stranded at second base. It's 5-2 Arizona after 6. Inning will find Michaels, Johnson, and Manzella due up for the Astros against Joe Saunders, who is shooting for his 3rd win with the D-backs and his 9th win overall this year. And with the quality work the Diamondbacks have been getting from Hudson, who went 6 innings last night, now Saunders falling into line with 6 innings so far tonight. Their bullpen has not been taxed a whole lot lately, JD.
Yeah, it's part of why they've been playing better too. We talked a lot about the Astros pitching being so good for the last month or so. Diamondbacks have pitched a lot better recently. Hudson, the Enright kid's been very good for them. Saunders has been just so-so. He had lost 4 in a row prior to last time out. He was good last time against the Padres.
Jason Michaels leads it off in the 7th inning. He's walked and singled. He's one of those retro Astros caps. Strike 1 to J. Mike. That was the 5th time the Arizona Diamondbacks have had a pitcher steal a base when Saunders pilfered second in the 6th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to J. Mike. Fouls it back, and it's 1-2. White Sox in winning game 1 of that doubleheader at Boston got John Danks his 13th win, beating Clay Buchholz. He's 15-6. Bobby Jenks got his 26th save. The appeal goes to first. It's a check swing call by Bill Miller, and it's 2-2 to Jason Michaels. So White Sox win a double dip. They're able to gain on Minnesota.
Do you know that Jason Michaels' grandfather John pitched for the Red Sox and the Reds?
No.
while his father played quarterback at West Virginia Tech.
Ooh. Quite a family tradition.
No idea. I'm learning it from the scoreboard here at Chase Field.
3 balls and 2 strikes. That's lashed but caught. And at third base, it's Reynolds going down on a knee. Nabbed that line drive, scalded by Michaels.
An easier play than the one he made on Pence, but a good play nonetheless. Pretty good swing here by J. Michaels, sinking line drive.
One down, and it's Chris Johnson who fly to right and line to second. Saunders gets in front with strike 1. Saunders has thrown 85 pitches. 50 have been strikes.
He's got good command of his changeup. He's been able to spot the fastball on both sides of the plate. There's one coming in after the one away. And a nice job of that. Either throwing that 2-seamer down and away or the changeup. And then if he thinks the hitter's looking out there, he'll throw that fastball in on him.
Tommy Manzella on deck. Upstairs for a ball, and it's 1-2. Fouled into the crowd.
Out.
That didn't take too long to arrive at its unfortunate destination. Up the first base line there. Not a whole lot of reaction time for folks.
Oh, Tommy Manziel was telling me after the game last night that he almost got smoked in the first inning right by his coconut. Well, unfortunately carried off a seat or something.
Yeah. Foul tip strikeout. Johnson's down, and it's out number 2. Strikeout number 4 for Saunders.
Not a big strikeout guy. He's just 87 in 166 innings coming into this ball game.
Manzella has popped to second both times. Quintero on deck. Ball 1 to Tommy.
In my keen powers of observation, or with my keen powers of observation, I guess I should say, I've just noticed that their jerseys say Los D-backs.
Yeah.
The 7th inning.
Well, you picked up on that trend. It's a Saturday night jersey, and it's 5-2 Arizona.
bottom of the 7th here in the desert. This day in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. September 4th, 2006, Carlton Jimerson becomes the 3rd Astro ever to homer in his first Major League at bat with a pinch hit blast off Cole Hamels of Philadelphia. That comes your way courtesy of MD Anderson, and also thanks to AstrosDaily.com.
He had some tools. Charlton Jimerson. He hit some shots during batting practice.
Strong kid, good athlete. Just too many holes in his swing.
Ball 1 to LaRoche. Adam singled in a run in the first. He's 1 for 3.
And David Matranga homered his first Major League at bat.
Yeah.
And, I think Mark Sacamano as well.
That's right.
It's interesting, all the great sluggers the Astros have had have never done that. And then the guys that have done it, I think, I don't know, but is that the only home run all 3 of those guys have ever hit in the big league?
Oh, boy, I don't think it might be.
That would be an amazing factoid.
It would be. And Alan Zinter, just found him in the Arizona media guide. He's working in the minor leagues for the D-backs. He came up and caused a stir in September a few years ago. He's a guy who had been in the minors for many years. Had some big moments. He was quite a story that September. 2 balls and a strike. Shift is on. And it's ball 3.
2 career home runs for Charlton Jimerson.
2, okay. Well, we have our own Moonlight Graham story on the Astros with Brian Esposito. 3-2. He's been in 1 major league game. He's caught an inning, but he has never batted. And you can be assured he'll bat this September. There's Vasquez, one of those pitchers warming up for the D-backs, and Aaron Heilman is the other. Heilman worked last night, and he was the winning pitcher in the 4-3 Arizona victory. Broken bat roller goes out to the 3rd baseman, actually, with a shift on, and Chris Johnson makes the play. He was the only infielder between 2nd and 3rd.
Change coming. Brad Mills stops to chat with Mike Riley. Double switch.
It'll be 1 2/3 innings for Gustavo Chacin. 1 hit, no runs allowed, no walks, 1 strikeout. And Angel Sanchez is running out to shortstop. Tommy Manzella made the last out in the top of the inning, so this double switch will put Sanchez in the number 9 spot in the order. The new pitcher will bat 7th, and there he is. We'll talk more about Mark Melancon in just a moment. Arizona leading Houston. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. The former closer at the University of Arizona joins Angel Sanchez as the double switch comes in for the Astros in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sanchez batting 9th, taking over at shortstop, and the pitcher is that former Arizona closer, Mark Melanson, 25 years old, from Wheat Ridge, Colorado, with those numbers.
Mark has worked 8 times for the Astros, 1-0, 2.08 the ERA. Over from the Yankees in the Lance Berkman deal. A dangerous right-handed hitter and Mark Reynolds coming up, so Brad Mills wanted to try to neutralize some of that power. So Chacin heads to the dugout. Melanson to the bump, where he will challenge Mark Reynolds with a good mid-90s heater and curveball combination.
Reynolds 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Fastball is up and it's ball 1. Melanson's last work was Wednesday against the Cardinals, a hold and a 5-2 win. He went 2/3 of an inning, allowing no hits, no runs. He's pitched scoreless ball in each of his last 4 outings. Up and in. It's 2-0 to Reynolds. Melanson came up from AAA Round Rock on the 9th of August. That's in the air, and it could be in play up the first base line. Carlos Lee, that was dangerously close to hitting a roof. Serious hang time there from Reynolds.
He leads the league in hang time.
Maybe not
the highest pop-ups of anybody in the league.
Might not have been 7 seconds, but it was up there for a while, JD.
His power strikeout combination draws comparisons to Dave Kingman, and so do those pop-ups. Kong used to hit him like that as well. Just a little short. That one's 6.9 seconds, just short of last night's 7-second effort.
That's great. Miguel Montero singled and scored in the 2nd inning. He walked and scored in the 5th. Yeah, you've got a combination there of a guy who has that powerful stroke, as you mentioned, in Reynolds, and a guy in Melanson who will challenge with the fastball. It's got some hop to it. Two balls, no strikes. Chacin did well for his inning and 2/3 of scoreless baseball. Phillies won and Roy Halladay got the win. 3 balls, no strikes. 5-4 the final. Philadelphia beating Milwaukee in Philadelphia. Halladay going to 17-10. Brad Lidge getting his 20th save. Cameron Lowe lost in relief.
Yeah, big win there for the Phillies, hanging on to win that one 5-4. Atlanta had knocked off Florida 2-0.
Keeps the Braves 1 game in front of the Phillies. Shot on the ground to Sanchez.
Find the new guy.
And he did. After 7, it's 5-2 Arizona. Astros lead it. They're going with Aaron Heilman. Kirk Gibson used Heilman last night for one scoreless inning. He gave up a hit. He had a strikeout. He earned win number 5, so he's 5-5 as he comes in for this one tonight. JD.
Joe Saunders did his job and gave Kirk Gibson and his mate 7 solid innings here tonight. So just 6 outs to get for the Diamondback bullpen, and they have a 3-run lead. So the Astros have a big hill to climb here, and not a whole lot of time to do it.
Well, they'll start with a pinch hitter, Jason Castro, hitting for Humberto Quintero. Castro leads it off here in the 8th inning. His batting average is .208 with 2 homers. Goes for the first pitch. Chris Young heading back to center field, now turning. 1 pitch, 1 out for Heilman.
The Astros have managed to put a leadoff man on base just once tonight. Michael Bourne's walk in the 6th inning. They were able to turn that into a, well, Michael was able to turn it into a run, essentially.
Angel Sanchez is the batter in the 9th spot by virtue of the double switch. Sanchez had a good night last night, going 2 for 5 with an RBI. Strike 1. Heilman hits the outside corner. Sanchez checks in with a .271 batting average. No homers. He's driven in 18. He's had 192 at bats with the Astros. One of the important pickups they've made during this season in a trade with the Boston Red Sox for catcher Kevin Cash. The Red Sox were really desperate for a catcher. The 2 guys who had been doing the playing at catcher both went on the disabled list. So they picked up Cash, and he had handled the knuckleball of Tim Wakefield in the past in his previous stint with the Red Sox. The Astros were able to tap into the Red Sox strength, which was middle infielders in their organization, and got Sanchez, has really helped.
Yeah. The thing about Angel Sanchez is he's a pretty smart player, and he knows his limitations. So he's mostly just trying to hit the ball on the line the other way. He's not trying to unload and hit the ball 400 feet. Solid defender.
It's 3-2. Joe Saunders in a position to pick up win number 3 with the D-backs. Number 9 overall this season. In 7 innings, he allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, walking 2 and fanning 4. Another very good game for Saunders, who is 8-7 against National League clubs in his career. He could be 57-36 lifetime with a win tonight. This one driven to right field. Parra heads back. A deep drive will bounce, stay in play. Sanchez heads for second. He's going to keep coming. Stop sign was thrown up. Throw to third base, and he's safe. Ooh. Dave Clark had a stop sign up, and Sanchez kept coming and made it to third just ahead of that relay.
Yeah, they'll have a conversation either right there or after the ball game. Down 3 runs, cannot afford to take chances on the bases. He got away with it. And the fact that he's on third base with 1 out, now it becomes a real plus. The speed is not part of his game, and so as I said, he knew his limitations, but in this instance, he did not. He said, "I'm going for 3," and he could have been rung up there.
Really close. Mike Riley rotated from home plate to make that call at third.
Good call. He got in there, but it was too close.
Now Michael Bourne.
It's game awareness there. 8th inning, down 3. Too big of a risk.
That was the 3rd triple by Sanchez this season. And you could see as he came around second, his head was down, so he had not seen Dave Clark holding his hand up to stop there at second.
We'll have that conversation as well. Ball in the right center alley. Somewhere between first and second, the base runner should pick up the third base coach. Good swing of the bat, though.
It was. One and two. Right center field has worked pretty well for the Astros in this game. Keppinger hit his double to right center. Now Sanchez with a triple. Astros have been out hit 9-4, but they're still in a winnable situation here if they can put some hits together in the late innings against the D-backs relievers.
Obviously have to get this run home. Here we go.
Sanchez comes home, and it's 5-3 now on a wild pitch by Heilman. So the triple did pay off. Sanchez able to score after that triple on the Heilman wild pitch.
The lesson becomes harder to impart when it all works out well.
Yeah, it does.
You're saying, no, we don't want you. But Skip, look, kind of a there in a wild pitch. They scored.
True. Well, we had an interesting discussion about that the other night. As you see, Montero unable to block that one. And that turned into run number 3. About trying to get to third base. Michael Bourne takes ball 3, 3-2, because there have been some very favorable articles recently about the base running approach of the Tampa Bay Rays. And Joe Madden doesn't believe in that old adage, don't make the first to third out at third. Bourne strikes out, 2 down. He just tells his base runners, if you can get to third, get to third. Don't worry about how many outs there are.
Interesting.
Off-speed pitch by Heilman, caught Bourne out in front.
He's got a good changeup.
Now Keppinger with a double in 3 trips. And Brad Mills said, yeah, that's workable.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on your personnel and the way you play the game, and if you have smart base runners. So basically, when you say that, you're trusting guys to trust their instincts, whether they can make it or not. The adage about don't make the first or third out at third base is a rule that a player can just buy into. Okay, I know when to be aggressive, when not to be. If you take Joe's approach, it's like, okay, I'm going to trust you guys to know your own speed, know the arms of the guys in the outfield, know the game situation. If you feel like you can make it, I don't care how many outs there are, go for it. And if you've got the right players, I get it. I think it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And for Brad Mills, it starts in spring training. He said we were encouraging our guys to run the bases hard in spring training, not to worry about being thrown out, but just see what you can do by stretching things. That's a rip shot into left field. Nice line drive by Keppinger. Heilman left that 0-2 pitch up. Keppinger whacked it. He's 2 for 4 with a line out to center. Good game for Keppinger.
Now one swing of the bat ties the ball game. So this is what we were talking about, trying to chip away. They got 1 run off Saunders there in the 6th inning, 1 so far here, and now a swing of the bat could tie the ball game. This ballpark has yielded more home runs than any in baseball this year.
Yeah, 177. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3. Upstairs, ball 1. This is game number 71. That's a high ratio of home runs per game compared to other major league ballparks. Carlos Lee on deck. Two and 0. Carlos Zambrano and the Cubs beat the Mets 5-3. Henry Mejia took the loss. Carlos Marmol got his 27th save. Ooh, that was a pitch Hunter should have and did swing at. 2 balls and a strike. Yankees beat Toronto 7-5. We'll check what Lance Berkman did in that game. He was 2 for 4 yesterday for them. Foul ball makes 2-2 to Hunter. Lance was 1 for 4 today, DHing.
One for 4 and didn't hurt A-Rod. That's a good day. A little hanging slider right here. Good heater. Watch out over there.
Yeah, that's a shot into the crowd. Nothing spilled, it appeared. Giants and Dodgers have played one in Los Angeles with no score. It's Ted Lilly going for Los Angeles. And the winner will gain ground on the Padres, who lost earlier. Montero heads out after that pickoff throw to first by Heilman.
A couple of things. How do you want to go after this guy? What do you think? You want to take a shot inside with the fastball? You want to go back with the changeup? Oh, by the way, don't worry about Keppinger. He's not going anywhere. I got him if he does.
Wasn't that kind of a jump throw there? And isn't that close to a balk the way he did it?
I don't know if he cleared the rubber or not. Depends on who's umping. Probably Bob Davidson's a balk.
2-2 to Hunter. And he cracks one. This one he gets by Reynolds into the left field corner. And here is Keppinger around third. No stop sign there on a double by Pence. Well, this time Reynolds was able to make a spectacular play made on Pence in the 6th inning, and it's a Hunter double. That's number 27 for him.
And this one had a little bit more pace on it, right down the line and into the corner it goes. A late stop sign there by Dave Clark, but Keppinger able to slam on the brakes. His run matters, but Hunter Pence's matters more. So Clark throws up the stop sign. Didn't want to take a chance at getting Keppinger thrown out at home. Carlos Lee with a base hit could tie this ball game.
Keppinger going hard, and Clark stopped him. Todd Stottlemyre, or Mel Stottlemyre Jr. rather, is out at the mound talking with the pitcher Heilman with runners at second and third. First base open. Carlos Lee, the batter, but he would be representing the go-ahead run. And Jason Michaels on deck.
If they don't put him on intentionally, I imagine the conversation was, hey, let's be careful with this guy here. We don't necessarily want to put him on. We don't want to throw him a cookie if you fall behind in the count either. Make your pitch. Don't give in. Pitch the entire at bat as if you're heading to count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Heilman got Lee out on a grounder back to the mound last night. Fly ball left field. Watch this ride as Carlos hits one to left, and it is a 3-run homer.
Wow. If not giving him something to hit was the game plan, he failed miserably.
Home run number 20 for El Caballo. And it's a 4 RBI night for him. It is 6-5 Houston.
And it is deja vu all over again for these Diamondback fans as they watch their bullpen implode, as it has done so many times this year. Carlos ambushed him.
What a time for that blast. And Lee has had several late inning go ahead or on that game winning blast for the Astros this year.
Wow, listen to the boos for Heilman.
The fact that the Astros go on to win this game and maintain the lead, he'll take over the major league lead with 5 of those late inning go ahead or game winning homers. They lead it now as Carlos connects for number 20 of the year. 65. We'll be right back. Goes the lead, their first lead since it was 1-0 after a half inning. And that prompts a pitching change. And Esmeralda Vasquez coming in. Jason Michaels at the plate. He's been on twice with a walk and a single. He's also lined to third, and there's ball one to him. Vasquez 1-5 with a 4.5 ERA.
Got good stuff. Good strikeout numbers. A lot of walks as well. Fastball, slider, changeup are the pitches that he features.
"26 years old, from the Dominican. He was in 53 Arizona games last year.
Bud Norris spits the hook. Not on the wrong end of this decision anymore. Joe Saunders is in position to win. That's a hang with him for Joe.
Boy.
Probably knew. He probably was thinking, man, I got this 7 innings, 2-run baseball. I got a couple of knocks. My night.
Yeah.
And boom. No decision.
Well, things can change. And the Astros got the 1-out triple from Sanchez. And then with 2 outs, they really did a job. Keppinger was down 0-2. He singled. Hunter Pence doubled. And Carlos Lee ripped the 3-run homer.
Hey, Astros a hit for the cycle here in the 7th.
Yeah. Foul ball keeps the 1-2 count. That's pretty rare.
And of course, all this action that has ensued after the fact is the reason why Angel Sanchez probably should not have stretches double to third. Because this is the deal. You're down 3 runs, you play for the big inning. If he'd been called out there, changes the inning completely and score a run.
Michael strikes out, and the elusive 3rd out finally rolls around for the D-backs. But Carlos Lee hit what could be his 5th late-inning game-winning homer. Gives the Astros a 6-5 lead here in the 8th.
Action of the 2010 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 6th with the division series on TBS. You can imagine in the dugout just a few feet away from where I've been sitting, it was very, very lively when Carlos Lee hit that home run. Now it's a question of holding on. Melanson stays on the mound. Bill?
Thank you, Greg. And Brett Wallace is in the game at first base. Ryan Roberts, the batter. And there's ball 1 to Roberts. He ripped his own 3-run homer in the 5th, so each club has one of those tonight. Wallace takes over at first for El Caballo, who goes 2 for 4 and drives in 4.
Yeah, nice night for Carlos, and he made that pick on that play on Chris Young, too. Ground ball to Manzella in the hole and short.
Yes, he did. Jason
save a run.
Yep. Castro in to do the catching for Melanson, who now could be the winning pitcher. Foul ball back, makes it 2-1. Parra's on deck. Pitcher spot is due up third for the D-backs. Aaron Heilman in 2/3 of an inning allowed 4 hits, 4 runs with no walks and 1 strikeout. Now 3-1 as Roberts tries to reach, leading off the 8th inning. Last night, leading off the 8th inning, he doubled and came around to score the winning run. And he is on again, leading off the 8th. 4th walk for Astros pitchers tonight. And it's Parra batting. He has a single and a triple in 3 trips.
Difficult for a manager in this stage of the ballgame to go to the bullpen and feel comfortable that he's going to get the advantage in a platoon situation, left on left, right on right, because there's so many available bats with the September call-ups. Brad Mills does have action in the bullpen. Looks like a bod, maybe. I don't know. There's a lefty out there.
Okay.
And a righty that I've got no clue on who it is. Over there in the corner.
Parra's around a bunt. He bunted at it and missed. There's strike 1. Pitch had some movement. And he couldn't catch up with it on a bunt try.
Brandon Allen on the on-deck circle for the Diamondbacks.
It's a Bod and Lindstrom. Double play depth for Sanchez and Keppinger with nobody out. It's a 1-1 count to Parra. Parra has 1 sacrifice bunt this season for Kirk Gibson. Giants and Dodgers in the bottom of the 2nd. No score with Matt Cain on the mound against Ted Lilly.
Anticipating bunt here. Johnson in tight at 3rd, and the infielder's ready to react to the bunt. But you got to hold your position as long as possible. Swings the bat pretty well. He's got a couple of knocks tonight, so if he double crosses you and takes a whack at one, don't want to create too many openings in that infield.
Now back. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count for Parra.
Had a pitch, just couldn't get to it.
Yes, he did. Important spot for Melanson, who got his first win as an Astro back on August 17th at home against the Mets, but he got a blown save in that game, giving up a David Wright homer in the 8th, and then the Astros won it later. Now 2-2. Of course, every team has a bullpen shuffle of sorts from beginning to the end of the season, but Melanson involved in one of those moves, entering the Astros pen here in the late stages of the year, with a chance to put in a claim for pretty good, important position in that pen for next year. And he gets Parra to chase a pitch down and in and strikes him out. Parra couldn't get the bunt down, then he was just hacking after that.
Had that one good fastball to hit that he fouled straight back, and now a wild swing here and a good fastball. Good sink on that fastball from Melanson.
Now Conroe native Brandon Allen is the pinch hitter for the pitcher Vasquez. And he will not be facing Mark Melanson. The left-hander Abad has been called into this game.
See if Kirk Gibson counters. If a relief pitcher comes out of the game, comes into the game, he has to face at least one batter. But a pinch hitter does not have to stay in the game, of course. So Gibson might go to a right-handed bat.
The maneuvering is here in the bottom of the 8th inning with a score: Houston 6, Arizona 5. Back in a moment. One of his three lefties from the bullpen, Fernando Abad. Brandon Allen, who bats left, had been announced as the pinch hitter for the pitcher Vasquez, but now Rusty Ryle, a right-handed hitter, will come out, and Abad brings that 2.25 ERA to the mound.
Well, Fernando working for the 8th time, and it's been impressive in his limited work so far. 8 innings. He struck out 7, walked a couple, got a couple of home runs. Some good fastball command. Pretty good changeup. Halfway decent breaking ball. Rusty Ryle, 304 batting average against left-handed pitchers this year. All 3 of his home runs have come against southpaws.
He comes up in a double play situation. Runner at first, 1 out.
Been used in the pinch a lot. 44 pinch at bats, 10 hits. It's a 227 batting average.
Ryle takes a look at ball 1. There you see those numbers. Abad worked 2/3 of an inning in last night's game. Didn't allow a hit. He had a walk. No strikeouts. Came up from Round Rock on the 19th of August. Foul ball makes it a 1-ball-1-strike count. Ryle's from Ponca City, Oklahoma. Went to Crowley County Community College and Oklahoma State.
Doubleheader.
Yeah, it was. 2 masks. Castro and Riley both caught that foul ball off the face mask. Ryle's father, Mark, was an outfielder with Kansas City, the White Sox, the Angels, Phillies, and Pirates. Rusty, 27 years old, drafted by the D-backs in 05 in the 14th round. He's had 2 pinch hits this year against the Astros in Houston, May 3rd and 5th, and then he drove in a run and a start the next day against Wandy Rodriguez. 2 balls and a strike to Ryle. That's a floater, and he fouls it back. 2-2. D-backs do not have a pinch home run this season.
Abad kind of quick pitched Ryle there a little bit. Quick step delivery, and Ryle wasn't ready to hit.
Maybe that's what Gibson was signaling. Ground ball slowly hit to the mound. Abad to second, and there's the force play on a hard sliding base runner, Roberts. Good play by Abad and Keppinger. Keppinger dancing out of the way of Roberts.
Very well done there by Abad. Reacted quickly, and good strong throw there to second base to keep the tying runner out of scoring position. It's a little dribbler out in front of the plate, and Abad jumping all over it.
He did.
Roberts coming hard, making sure there's going to be no double play.
Now it's Stephen Drew against the lefty. He has a double and a walk tonight. Drew takes a look at strike 1 from Abad. Well, Fernando, another one of those guys like Melanson, who's come along in August and put in a strong bid for a spot in the Astros bullpen in 11. Lefty's 1 for 11 against him. Fly ball in the infield. Keppinger's back. Shallow right field. Now he weaves his way back in. And Abad gets 2 important outs to end the 8th inning with the Astros in front 6-5. 6-1. Now it's 6-5 Houston. The Astros rallying. They got a run in the 6th inning. They picked up 4 in the 8th. And now pitcher number 4, Leo Rosales, comes out of the D-backs bullpen. He's 2-0 with an 8.10 ERA, just reinstated from the disabled list September 1st, JD.
They had surgery, had a stress fracture on his foot. Had surgery, so his last appearance in a big league game way back on April 28th. He made a few rehab appearances, but while pitching for the D-backs earlier this year, did not enjoy much success, although a whole lot of that damage coming in one appearance, his final appearance with the D-backs. In an inning in the 3rd, he gave up 7 runs in that one game. So that's going to skew the numbers a wee bit.
Yes, it is. Esmond Vasquez in 1/3 of an inning had 1 strikeout. Chris Johnson is 0 for 3. There is ball 1 from Rosales. Rosales, 29 years old, from Los Angeles. He went to Cal State Northridge. Drafted by San Diego in the 20th round in 03. Arizona got him in the Scott Hairston trade in 07. Foul ball by Johnson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
CJ 0 for 3 so far tonight. 1 out of 4 last night. Had a single in his final trip. I'd love to do the same here tonight and give the Astros a chance to put an insurance run or 2 on the board.
Rosales was known for his changeup when he was in the Padres organization. Fastball there makes it 1-2. Jeff Blum is on deck with the pitcher spot due up next for Houston. Foul away, and it's still a 1-2 count. Rosales pitched in 33 games for the D-backs last year with a 4.76 ERA. With that foot surgery, he had 2 screws placed in the top of his right foot during surgery. Back in 07, he broke his right hand. He punched the bench in frustration after a bad inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Guys will never learn. You're going to punch something, do it with your catching hand, not your throwing hand.
Yeah, all right. Some teams put a punching dummy down there, don't they? Fly ball over second base, out into center field. Here's Young turning in, and Young makes a running catch.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Put a little speed bag down there. Generally, though, when you want to punch something, it's you're not going to have the rational thought process of, I'll walk down to the end of the dugout, up the tunnel, and hit the bag.
No, you're looking for something close by.
Irate, and you just snap.
Usually something very hard. Jeff Blum pinch hitting now with a .260 average, has 1 homer, 17 runs batted in. He's done well as a pinch hitter, 9 for 32. Taking strike 1. Fernando Abad worked 2/3 of an inning. He allowed no hits, no runs, with no walks, no strikeouts. Mark Melancon 1 hitless inning with a walk and a strikeout. That's ripped up the right field line, but hooking foul.
Well, Rosales, not a real hard thrower. I've seen his fastball fairly straight at 90 miles an hour, and then a good changeup. You got Johnson with a good changeup. That was a hanger. Put a pretty good swing on it, but just a little too quick, a little bit out in front.
Plummer takes, and it's a ball for a 1-2 count. Jason Castro is on deck. That shot foul up the right field line. Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Jeff Blum. The Astros have been out hit 9-7, but they came roaring back with a 4-run 8th to grab the lead. And Carlos Lee hit a game-winning homer in the 9th at home against Arizona May 5th. That was his first home run of the season. And he hit another game winner at home in the 9th against Washington June 3rd. Number 3 came at Colorado, a grand slam in the 10th. Number 4 at home against the Pirates mid-August in the 8th. This could be his 5th. Out into right field. Parra with a catch.
Well, it's number 20 overall for Carlos. So this is a quarter of your home runs are game winners. That's pretty good.
You know that. And that 20 home runs gets him to that important milestone for home run hitters again. He has a string of years of hitting 20 or more. Jason Castro, pinch hit in the 8th inning, hit a fly ball to center field. Ball 1 to Jason.
Brandon Lyon getting ready in the Astros bullpen. Tomorrow it's Jay Happ and Rodrigo Lopez in the finale of this series. In Chicago, we can get a look at Casey Coleman for the first time. He's up against Wandy on Monday. Carlos Silva returns to the rotation for the Cubs on Tuesday. He's up against Nelson Figueroa. On Wednesday, it's Brett Myers and Randy Wells.
Three and 0. This is the 11th consecutive year that Carlos Lee has hit at least 20 home runs.
Very durable, very consistent over his career. Still with a shot to get to 100 RBIs. 3 weeks ago, you would have said no way. It's weird to be playing a 3-game set with the Chicago Cubs and not scheduled to see Zambrano or Dempster or Lilly, any of those guys we've gotten used to seeing over the years.
You're right. Sanchez started the comeback in the 8th inning, trailing by 3 with 1 out. He tripled and scored on a wild pitch. It had been 5-1, run number 2 scoring in the 6th inning on a 100-pinch grounder, so that's where it truly started. But you could also say it started with the work of the relievers, and Chacin, Melanson, Nabad kept the D-backs at bay since they scored in the 5th on a 3-run homer by Roberts. One and 0 to Angel Sanchez.
Sanchez now with 3 triples, 8 doubles. He's yet to leave the yard. Might as well do that now.
It's a good place to do it, too. 1 ball, 1 strike to Angel. And the throw to first. Drives back Castro.
Ball game 3 hours old now. This one's played a lot of fast games this year. Low scoring, well pitched games. This is the type of game you anticipate playing out here.
Now there's generally a lot of scoring. Bunted. And by the mound, and it gets for an infield hit out to Reynolds at third. So Sanchez got it by the pitcher, Rosales, and then it became a hit. A triple and a single off the bench for Sanchez.
Had Reynolds playing back down there, because normally when you see Reynolds, you're thinking, well, he's not probably not going to bunt here because there's 2 outs. So he's going to be trying to hit a double to drive that run in. So Reynolds stays back. Sanchez takes a peek down there and says, well, I'll drop one down and I'll let Michael Bourne drive him in. So he pushes the man into scoring position. Let's see if Michael can deliver.
And it's going to be Mike Hampton coming out of the Arizona bullpen. 6-5 Houston. Back in a moment. And tomorrow he will be appearing on Astros Live to talk about his career with the Astros. Let's hear a little bit of that.
Well, it's been a while. I mean, it's been a pretty long career, and you know, I'm here in a Diamondbacks uniform and hoping to extend that career a little bit longer.
Well, he's recast himself now as a situational lefty reliever, and here he is facing lefty hitting Michael Bourn, JD.
Yeah, first time he has pitched in the major leagues in relief since 1994. 44 times for the Astros that year out of the bullpen. Kind of a strange feeling for him.
Comes in with 2 men on, facing Michael Bourn. And there's strike one. Hampton did not sign a contract until August 21st. Signed a minor league contract, and he went to AAA Reno. Pitched 4 games there. He was 1-0 with a 2.70 ERA and was just promoted yesterday to the big leagues. He lives in this area. 1 ball, 1 strike. And last year with the Astros, he was 7-10 with an ERA of 5.5. In his career in 16 seasons, he's won 148 with a 4.07 ERA.
A good long career for Mike. With a lot of injury problems beginning in 2004. 2005, he only made 12 starts and did not pitch in the big leagues in 6 or 7. 13 starts for Atlanta in 2008. It was that work that convinced the Astros to give him a shot last year.
Well, Mike kind of harkened back to those Jeff Bagwell days when he joined the Astros, and he said he learned a lot pitching in relief before moving to the rotation. He said coming in to face lefty hitters like Bonds, I really was able to learn a lot. And hit the bat of Michael Bourn for a foul ball. Keeps the count at 1-2. Then he put that knowledge to use as he moved into the rotation.
Throughout the years, it's been primarily sinker, slider, cutter, occasional curveball.
Bourne's not biting, and it's 2-2 to Michael. Hampton will turn 38 in 5 more days. Native of Brooksville, Florida. He has the Astros all-time single season record for wins with 22 in 99. Bounce to shortstop. Stephen Drew stays down with the ball, and he gets Michael Bourn. Hampton gets out number 3 in the 9th. It's no runs a hit, 2 men stranded. It's 6-5 Houston. 5-1. Now they work so hard to grab this lead 6-5. They put it in the hands of Brandon Lyon going to the bottom of the ninth with Young, Johnson, and LaRoche, the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up, JD.
And Brandon, very, very busy man this year. 65 appearances, 6 wins, 5 losses, 11 saves now, and been on quite a roll. Saved 2 games in that Cardinal series. Real nice road trip. In advance of that brief homestand with the Redbirds. And now he faces his former club. A chance to close one out here. 1-run lead. He's got to deal with 2, 3, 4 in the Diamondback batting order.
And they can all hit the ball out of the park. Young is 2. He's hit 23 homers. Johnson is 3. He's hit 19. LaRoche is 4. He's hit 23. Young 0 for 4. On the corner, strike 1.
Something we frequently say with Brandon Lyon on the mound. On the corner. Very good command. Cut fastball right on the edge at the knees for strike 1.
Young's not chasing, and it's 1-1. Lyon has converted his last 11 save opportunities. Has 9 of those saves in his last 11 games. That's a strike, and it's 1-2. That's going to be tough for Young. He keeps hitting that spot. In 21 of his last 22 outings, he has pitched scoreless baseball.
Young has to decide if he wants to lean out to try to cover that outside corner and make himself vulnerable to an inside fastball.
He lines one over shortstop into left center field. Takes a big turn. Jason Michaels gets it back in, and Young is aboard, and he has stolen 26 bases.
Looked like he hit a pretty good pitch. Brandon went back out away, stayed away the entire at bat. Threw him another cutter down there, and he just reached out and lifted it into left field. Yeah, not a bad pitch. Good swing of the bat. And he executed the pitch he wanted to make. I guess you could second guess the fact that he stayed out there, but he's had a lot of success doing that.
Kelly Johnson 1 for 4, a double in the 5th inning. He later scored. Double play situation for Sanchez and Keppinger. Johnson around to bunt, almost hit by the pitch. Ball 1. He looks back at the home plate umpire, Mike Riley.
I thought it hit the bat. I thought it hit something. I thought I heard something. Johnson, I think, is arguing that it hit him. He got the bat back, and it might have clipped the pant leg there.
Looked like that was his argument. Didn't see any indication of it there. Young with 26 steals and 31 attempts. There's the leg of the pants flaring out. Young is creeping further out towards second, with Wallace holding him. Johnson bunting. He puts it down. First base line. Wallace picks it up while fair and tags him. Now that ball, usually would roll foul if it's on the dirt portion, but it didn't seem to be showing signs of doing that.
Yeah, and he couldn't afford to wait. Ideally, you'd like to let that one go foul, keep that man out of scoring position, but the worst case scenario is there, let it roll all the way, and it becomes an infield hit, and at first and second, nobody out. If that goes from grass to dirt, it's probably going to trickle foul, but it was on the dirt the whole way. And the grass here is very thin. It's cut tight like a fairway. It's not very bushy at all. It's not going to influence the ball even if it is up on the grass very much.
Potential tying run at second, 1 out. Adam LaRoche, the batter. He drove in a run with a first inning single. He's 1 for 4. Looking at ball 1.
And reaching back, finding a little something extra there at 93 miles an hour. It's a little tying run in scoring position. Adrenaline pumping through his body right now.
Mark Reynolds is on deck. Two 2-0. Lyon last pitched on Wednesday against the Cardinals, saving the 5-2 win.
Adam LaRoche just 1 out of 9 in his career off Brandon Lyon, with 4 punch-outs.
Grounds it slowly to the right side. The shortstop has to come over for it. Sanchez with the play, with Keppinger shifted into right field. It had to be Sanchez or nobody making that play. Young to third, 2 outs for Reynolds now.
I'm going to have to say that's the closest to first base I've ever seen a shortstop make a play.
Yeah. Crazy.
Good quick reaction by Sanchez. Obviously Keppinger's got no chance to get there in time.
Now it's Reynolds 0 for 3 with a walk. A guy with 32 home runs. Quite a ball game tonight, featuring a 4-run Houston 8th. And this fly ball goes to Michael Bourne in center for the final out. Brandon Lyon closes it out for the Astros, and they have one of their best comeback wins of the year. Trailing 5-1, they've equaled the biggest deficit they've made up in a game, and they roar back to win it with 1 in the 6th and 4 in the 8th. They capture this one 6-5.